Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called "She was the reason that most of the business came in." My spouse was the second person hired at a consulting company in a very specialized industry. In her 15 years with the firm, it grew to a respectable 3 offices with 8 to 10 employees at each location entity. She and the owner grew the business on the contacts, expertise and presentation of my wife. To the extent that my wife's abilities and education were the main reason new business came through the door. Over the years, her scope of responsibility grew so that the owner was basically 75% of the time absent and mostly unaware of the day-to-day activity. As he got more and more removed from the business, he would make overtures that he would eventually retire and sell her the business. He was so dependent on her income generating that he took out a life insurance policy on her. I did not involve myself too much. But at a major industry dinner party I attended with her, he introduced my wife to the table as my girl Friday, basically a secretary, which was weird. Over the years, she tried to get an agreement in place to buy the firm, even if it was years away. He always delayed and made promises, but never followed through. I told her, "This guy doesn't respect you or your contribution. He will never sell you the business because there's no reason to. He can make more money by stringing you along, and essentially, you are the business. Why would he sell it to you?" One day, out of the blue, my wife received a raise and a bonus, a very minor amount of money, and a contract that included a non-compete, non-disclosure agreement. After reading it, she realized that the owner was trying to lock her down from leaving for another firm. She had been getting feelers from other companies. To make things even more suspicious, she received a call from a competitor who said they were in the final stages of due diligence and they wanted to meet her. The idiot boss was selling the company and didn't think to tell her or ask if she was interested in buying it. She ignored the agreement and there were no other agreements in place. She was totally free. My wife is extremely loyal. She has missed so many special days working for this guy, stuck around when they were wobbly. She even skipped paychecks when there were tough financial times. She was furious. The absolute maddest I've ever seen her. We discussed starting her own firm and I asked how much business is contractually obligated to stay there if you leave. It turned out that most agreements were either handshakes or 30-day at will. I also asked how many would leave with you. She said about 75%, including her biggest source of revenue, who didn't even know the owner. In a very short time, my wife took a 3-week vacation. She had months of unused time. During this time, she rented an office in the same building and made all the agreements to set up a new shop. She agreed to leave any and all company property behind and do her best to give the old company no obvious ammo for litigation. She called her clients and said, "I'm leaving. If you want to look into relocating your account with my new company, you'll need to quit the old one before we can discuss it." Most understood the implication. While she was on vacation, she received a panicked call from her boss. "We lost XYZ company. Do you know anything about it?" She said, "I'm sorry, but I just sent you an email. I've resigned. All my keys and company stuff is on my desk. Bye bye." The new firm took basically 90% of the business and seamlessly transitioned into the same company as it was before, but with a new owner. Even most of the office staff would come aboard. Within a year, her old company closed down, except for the small office her old boss ran. She sees him once in a while and he just scolds at her. Thanks for watching this far. Don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel. And also, please comment down below, even something like an emoji helps. The last story is called "He Wanted to Get Rid of Me." This happened a few years ago. I was one of 2 commercial writers and producers working in the production department of a local television station. Our department was responsible for producing both the newscast and commercials for clients who purchased airtime on our station. The department is high stress. I had to manage multiple deadlines and provide creators for about a dozen ad campaigns every month. That being said, I always met my deadlines and our sales department was always complimentary of my work, steering the more important clients my way. Unfortunately, managers in my department came and went with unsettling frequency. In the 9 years I was there, I had 6 different managers. Most often, the managers were passing through with their sights set on snagging upper-level management jobs in larger television markets. This meant their experience actually doing the work of television production was often minimal. So they had a tendency to not interfere with our work so long as clients were happy and deadlines were being met. Given the managers were so disengaged, I told our general sales manager about my idea for saving time and money in the department. He suggested I apply for the production manager position the next time it opened up. So I did. I did not get the job. I was told I was too important maintaining good client relationships through my work as a producer. No big deal, I thought. I was happy as a producer. Unfortunately, the person they did hire for the position ended up being a monumental jerk of the first order. I call him Bob. The first thing Bob wanted to know was who in the department had applied for the position he now filled. I don't know what idiot in upper management thought it would be a good idea to tell him, but someone did. It soon became apparent he wanted to find any excuse he could to fire me because that was just the kind of insecure idiot he was. It began by him writing me about the time I was taking to complete commercial productions. Then he accused me of undercharging clients in my billing. He wanted me to wear a suit and tie, which he knew I hated. As the writing on the wall became clear, I began documenting every single interaction with him, taking notes about what was said and contradicting his accusations with the facts. All the while, he is managing so poorly that morale really began to tank. Bob was petty and vain, and he liked announcing how lavish and wonderful a vacation he was planning would be. He was going to Aruba. So he put up travel posters and printed out a ridiculous sign he taped to his office door. That poster would say something like, "My island adventure begins in 2 weeks." All this served to remind us that he was the only one in our department who made enough money to take that kind of vacation. Eventually, an incident occurred where I missed a deadline through no fault of my own. The client wanted to change up the creatives at the last minute, and we had to bump the film shoot. Somehow, Bob got in his head that I should have been a mind reader and anticipated the client's wishes before they were communicated. He calls me into his office and begins berating and threatening me. I had had enough. I'm the kind of person who will take a lot of things with patience and grace. But when I'm finally pushed to my boiling point, I explode. I start yelling back. "You are a liar, and if you think I don't know how to handle this client, then fine. Let me see you do it, because I'm out of here." And I walked off the job. I'm so amped up by what just transpired. After leaving the office, I walk all the way home, a distance of more than 6 miles. Just as I'm nearing my house, my cell phone rings. It's Bob. Evidently, it just dawned on him that he would in fact have to produce the ad campaign himself because our other producer had the week off. He hemmed and hawed and finally blurted out something that was quite revealing. "If we lose this client, we'll both get fired, and I can't afford to lose another job." Really? So you've been fired from all your other jobs? What a surprise. I tell him to go screw himself because I'm not taking his stupidness for 1 more minute. All the while, I'm literally trembling with the knowledge I've walked off the job without another job to go to, and I have a wife and 2 kids to support. Thankfully, the next call I get is from the general sales manager. You know, the guy who recommended I apply for Bob's job, resulting in this whole ordeal. By now, news of my blow-up evidently made it back to him. He asked me about what happened, and I fill him in and apologized for walking off the job, while also telling him there's no way I'm working for Bob. He says, "Yep, leaving work wasn't a good idea. So do me a favor and come back. Email me the details of what happened and I see what I can do." Thanks to my copious note-taking of all my interactions with Bob, it takes me no time at all to send him the complete history of Bob's boobery. So I return, hoping to avoid Bob. Thankfully, his door was closed and I keep my head down in my cubicle. A half hour before quitting time, I notice our general manager and a security guard getting off the elevator together. I stand up to see where they are headed and am elated to see it is directly towards Bob's office. What transpires is even better than the revenge options I was contemplating. Bob emerges from his office, carrying a box of his belongings, including the rolled up Aruba travel poster. He is escorted by the security guard to the escalator. Now, standing up in my cubicle, he turns towards me, his face bead red with embarrassment. As our eyes meet, I flash an ear-to-ear grin. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please click on one of the suggestions that show up right now to get to another funny video. I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.